We got a problem in our society where sex is overrated and certainly out of context. What is my take on pimps, players, and punks? I'm sorry to report to so many of you that my patience has run the gamut, for real. I am so sick of guys who think from their waist down. Now we all have our interactions with attractions. We all have our urges and our hormonal fights. And this is not just on the guy's side. We got pimps, players, and punks on the women's side. And this is enough. We got to start speaking out about these three dynamic duels, or this triune foolishness in our culture. And we're feeding it. We're feeding it every single day. So we're going to talk about it right here on the Culture's Corner. And hopefully we don't run into any more technical difficulties. Stand by. We have a plethora of problems in our community in general. We have all kind. I got an immigration problem. If you've noticed lately, nothing against Hispanics, but who left the door open? Who left the gate open? My own particular theory is that the gate was left open because the annihilation of the black race continues to be the overall goal of an old system that placates us today. And we still are in the game. We're still in the game. We're still in the game. For those of you that are historical buffs, you probably could share information with me about how the black mind still wrestles with issues from slavery. But what we have to also admit about slavery is that the resilience of an African-American people who were brought here by force was second to none. A people who rose up literally from the grave. A people who would be willing to die for the rights and the well-being and the equality of a nation, of a people. But we have one nagging problem. Pimps, players, and punks, those who come perhaps from dysfunctional backgrounds and families, those who placate that they're cool, those who placate and act like they're all this and a bag of chips, walking around, taking their dick out, taking their penis out, sticking it in every rat hole that they can find, getting their freak on, without any thought and any note to the consequences that they're bringing on our society, let alone that particular girl, that particular woman, that particular family. And it goes even beyond that. This pimp, player, and punk thing goes beyond just having sex. It goes into folks having sex who know that they have AIDS, who know that they have herpes, who know that they have other children by other girls who are not old enough to even know what to do with their lives. And I want to ask you, what are we doing about it? And I must admit to you, I got to come clean. I got to come clean. We all have our issues with hormonal imbalance and attractions and fantasies and all of that. But we have, our society, our kids, our young adults have been taken to a place that I am not sure we can return from. I am not sure we're going to make a comeback. If you already look at the statistics, we are at the bottom of the pole. It used to be maybe 50-40. It used to be 60-30, 60-40. When it came to Hispanics and blacks. And blacks are now moving down to the bottom of the pole. And I know I'm just one person, but my take on pimps, players, and punks is that if you impregnate somebody, let's say this, legislatively, I think that we should have some action. You know, I know that a lot of you support China walking in full democracy and they should lift their one-child policy. But listen, you know, your taxes, those that are listening to me and hear the sound of my voice, your taxes is paying for this foolishness. My taxes is paying for this foolishness. We are walking around in a pool of foolishness when it comes to this sexual thing. And we're feeding it. We're feeding it. We're feeding it. We're feeding it steak and potatoes. I'm seriously. We're feeding it vitamins. We're feeding it vitamin water, for the love of goodness. We are in a pool of foolishness with pimps, players, and punks. And my message to you, if you're a pimp, if you're a player, if you're a punk, and you can't even use protection, I'm gonna do a series on sex. I'm gonna do a series of radio shows and podcasts on sex and why do we have this phenomenon. I need to get some feedback from some young folks and finish my research study. But I'm telling you, we're in a pool of foolishness here, and the question is, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do? Now, let me tell you this. You and I have to take a stand as a community, as an African-American community. We got to take a stand, and we got to tell our sons and daughters, listen, I'll support you as the person, but I will not continue to support activity that is irresponsible, that's costing you money that you don't have, and costing me energy, time, and money that I cannot afford to pay. For the love of goodness, is it worth it? Is it worth it to mess up your life? Is it worth it to interrupt your development? Is it worth it to downgrade your earning activity, ability? Is it worth it? When it comes to sex, everybody can always ask themselves a question if they're not in a covenant relationship and keeping faithful with that. They can always ask themselves a question, what will happen next? And assuredly, if you look at the statistics, you know what happens next after sex. What happens next after sex outside of a covenant is drama for your mama, babies, AIDS, herpes, and other venereal diseases, emotional trauma, and add to that criminal activity. I mean, we're feeding this. This is the part that really gets me. If you impregnate someone and you're not working, you're not in school, you're not trying to better yourself, you ought to be in jail. I'm not talking about deadbeat fathers. I'm going beyond that. I'm talking about pimps, players, and punks who do nothing but prey on folks who are willing participants in the bedroom, willing participants on the couch, willing participants in the booth in the back some damn where, and open up your damn legs knowing you ain't got bus fare. Open up your legs knowing that you don't have a car. Open up your legs. I'm talking to the guys knowing that you don't have a pot to piss in, but yet you want to get your groove on. You want to get you can tell I'm pissed. I am very pissed because this is plaguing the African American community. And you can't even turn on the radio anymore. Unless you go to an oldie but goodie, and out in LA they say that the oldies and goodies are being played so bad and so often that they're not even oldies and goodies anymore. But you can't turn on your radio now without hearing something about I want to stick you. I want to freak you. What are we doing? What the hell are we doing here? What kind of message are we sending in our society when sex is all we think about? What are we doing here? And then you want to step to me, and they want to step to you when it all falls apart. We got to pull our pants up, ladies. We got to put our pants up, gentlemen. Pull our panties up, ladies. Pull our drawers up, men. And we have to maturate to living a full, purposeful life somehow. Now listen, I'm the first to admit, if you got some urges and you got some issues, you know what I'm saying? I get you. But sex without protection? That's a player right there. I don't know what the hell you saying to that young lady, and I don't know what the hell the young lady is saying to you that makes you think it's all right in my community, in my world. It's not just your hood anymore. We're global. We're interacting with global economic societies, cultural societies. It's not just you and your dick and you and your pussy anymore. It's all of us involved in this situation. And some of y'all that think that you can just say Jesus and all this is supposed to just disappear. I don't see no churches holding vigils for prayer for folks can come and get their sexual urges under control. I don't see that. I don't see us making declarations on the news that we need to come to a halt in our bedrooms so that we can have stronger economies and stronger cultures and stronger communities. My time is out. I am out of time. This is a hot button issue with the coach. But I'll tell you this. If you don't stand up, speak out, speak on these issues, they would eat all of us alive. Follow me on Spreaker, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, if you can.